Hello everybody, welcome back to episode 38 of Euro Truck Simulator 2. Thought we'd take a drive today through the middle of Romania down into Bulgaria. And we've made some progress since our last episode. We now have about 250,000 in the bank, so enough to buy our next base in Istanbul when we finally get there. If we take a look at the map, we can see that we are in Pitești right now. We last left when we were in Timisoara. I picked up Reșița, the city there, Hunedoara, the city there, Bacău, Iasi, and now a cut down here. And today will take us through Bucharest, Rus, Veliko, Tarnovo, into Karlovo, and then Pierdop. So we've only got 4 cities left, these 4 that are grayed out here in the southwest part of Bulgaria. And we're going to try to pick up 2 of those cities today. So that will put us poised for the next episode to finish up and get the achievement for all the cities in the Black Sea expansion pack. So pretty excited about that. Let's jump right in and start driving. Today we have in our job market external contracts, some liquid petroleum gas. You can see that our route, we've got liquid petroleum gas. It is an explosive cargo, and so it looks like it's going to be about a 6-hour drive. Let's jump right in and get started. I've messed around with the mods a little bit since the last time, and I thought we'll chat about that a little bit as we go forward. Actually, speaking to what you can see right now over my shoulder, the realistic brutal weather mod, the unforgiving version. So I've discovered a few things about that, let's see, how far away is our trailer? All right, not that far away. So we will get going here. It looks like we've got about a 7-minute drive to pick up our trailer, so we'll see you when we get that all loaded up and we're off and ready to go. Alrighty, we're backing up to our liquid petroleum gas pickup here. Behind us, you can see that in the mirrors. We are almost there. A little bit more. Let's get this attached. Let's take a look at it from the back here. Very cool. So here is our load for today. Let's see if I can get a screenshot of that somewhere. No, that's not going to work, is it? So let's jump back in. We'll do a screenshot later. Off we go. I think it's a pretty heavy load, too. First gear. Nice. So we will get this moving here. Get out on the highway. Actually, there's probably not a lot of highway. There isn't a lot of highway. A lot of the highways in Romania and Bulgaria in the game too seem kind of half finished. You know, so you'll take on the highway for just a little while, and then all of a sudden the highway will stop, and you'll get into these little 2-lane roads. A lot of towns too. I think if you watched the last episode, when I got 3,000 euros in fines, and it looks like a lot of times they have 80-kilometer speed limits, and then just as you hit the town entrance, it drops down to 50, and if you're going too fast, it just zaps you with a really heavy fine, like at least 1,000 euros. So I think I've picked up about 10,000 euros in fines driving around Romania over the past few days here. I finally figured out that I have to watch for the town entrances and then really crank on the brakes to make sure we're not going that much over 50 kilometers an hour as we enter the town. And that seems to be working. So far, the last 2 runs, I don't think I got any last run. Maybe I didn't get any tickets. But yeah, so far so good. So we'll get this going and we'll touch base along the way. Got about a 6-hour drive before we get to our final destination. So we are about an hour into our drive. We had a little bit of a highway run. Now we're in a 2-lane highway cutting down towards Bulgaria. Making good time so far. The weather's fantastic. It's a little bit after 6 o'clock at night. I think we'll probably get there, about 2 o'clock in the morning or so. So we'll somehow, at some point in this ride, transition to darkness. But I mentioned I've been playing around with some of the mods. Whoops, I got to turn right. I got to pay attention to what I'm doing here. Excuse me. So I put in a new mod called the Realistic Weather Brutal kind of Unforgiving mod. And I think there's 2 versions of it. There's a regular version and then there's the Unforgiving version. And I had used the regular version before and I switched to the Unforgiving version. But I didn't like it because there's a lot of haze in it. I'm going to put up a screenshot of what I mean. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, but basically it just creates this kind of haze in front of a lot of the foliage and a lot of the buildings about, I'm going to guess, maybe a quarter mile out in front of where you are. And I looked online and apparently it's an issue with it. And I'm not sure why, because it's not always like that. It's clearly some kind of a setting to maybe make the driving more hazy or something, but it just makes the game ugly. I just didn't like it. So starting with this drive here, I swapped that back out for the regular non-unforgiving version, and that seems to, at least so far, it hasn't had any haze, and I actually kind of like this one a lot better. So you can see now, I mean, we have pretty good vision right in front. It's all clear. The foliage doesn't have this kind of mist in front of it. If I put back up the screenshot of what we had before, you could see pretty clearly, and it was like that a lot. It was like that probably, I'm going to guess, more than half the time, at least driving around Romania and Bulgaria here, more than half of the time during the day. And so it just kind of, I mean, it didn't really make the driving that harder. It didn't make it more interesting. It just made the graphics worse. So I've uninstalled that one. It's too bad though, because I really liked the sleet and the rain versions of that, and I'm not sure if this version, the non-unforgiving version, has that same quality of sleet and rain and stuff like that. I know the rain's been really good, but I had a sleet storm somewhere in Romania, and it was pretty cool. I mean, you could actually see kind of the granules of ice on the windshield as it was snowing and stuff. So here's one of these brutal 50-mile-an-hour speed traps. So we got to come down. There we go. And we don't get our ticket. I'm learning. Look at that. The cop car's flying by us here. Anyway. So yeah, so I'm like it. So far, I like this one because it doesn't seem to have that mist problem that the unforgiving version had. So this is just the regular brutal weather mod. That's how we doing here. That's okay. So we'll touch base here again. A little bit under 4.5 hours left to go. Making good time. No accidents, no fines yet. Although I did almost have an accident on the highway there, but we managed to swerve to avoid a truck. Gah! Idiot! Rammed right into me. Pay attention, people. I probably should have been paying attention too. I wasn't really paying attention. But 3% damage. Gah! That's a tasty amount of money gone for this ride. We're back at that bridge there, the Soviet-built bridge over the Danube, crossing into Bulgaria. Mr. Pokey here. Come on. There you go. Oh, this looks good. Nice views. Very cool. The Blue Danube. The 3% damage truck. And... Oops. Entering Bulgaria. Nice. I've switched my language, by the way, to Turkish. I thought that'd be pretty cool for a while. I was getting kind of tired of the Korean. So we'll see in a little bit. About 4 hours to go so far, except for 3% damage to the truck, which is going to be a little bit expensive. We're pretty good. We've got about 3 hours left. The shadows are getting long here in Bulgaria as the sun's heading down to our west, of course, and making pretty good time. A couple cars in front of us to slow us down for a while, but other than that, we're doing pretty good. So, I'm enjoying this ride. It's been fun to get back to the game after being away for it for a while. Forgot how kind of relaxing it, well, when you don't get into accidents and speeding tickets and other violations, how relaxing the game is just to kind of chill and enjoy the countryside. And I really like the light at this time of day. I think the game does a really good job of capturing kind of the early dawn and dusk lighting in the world. So this is my favorite time to drive, I think. Whoops. Wow, we're really heading downhill here and picking up speed. Making good time now. So we'll keep going here, I think. So roughly trying to complete all the cities in the Black Sea here. And so far we're doing pretty well. It's been pretty easy to pick them up here. We'll get 2 of the last 4 we need on this run, and then I think the next episode we'll kind of slide off and try to grab the other 2. That will give us all 30 cities in the Black Sea. Then there's one more entry point that I want to get that we have to do. What's going on here? Is this construction? Okay. One more border crossing between Bulgaria and Turkey that I need in order to be able to get that achievement. And then I've been looking as well for the Strasbourg to Munich run on the Orient Express, that second leg for that achievement. Every time I've started the game up, I check for it on quick jobs. Nothing doing. Likewise, I've been trying to find, again, Varna to Mangalia or Mangalia to Varna, because that would be the last one I need for the Along the Black Sea achievement. So just kind of basing some actions on achievement hunting. But those jobs don't pop up. Those cities are, for whatever reason, they're just hard to get. So haven't been able to pick them up yet. But we'll keep at it and keep poking away and seeing. Eventually, it's bound to show up sometime, right? But other than that, yeah, making good time. Looks like we got about 2.5 hours left. We'll touch base as we get about an hour away from our destination. So we've got about an hour or so left. It's full on dark now. We've transitioned from daytime to night. And this looks like right here. Whoa, that's one of those tricky spots. Bulgaria isn't as bad as Romania for those speed traps coming into towns. Karlovo is a town that I think we need to get here. So I think we're going to discover this. There it is. Bang! 27th city out of 30 in the Black Sea area. So that's cool. And we've got about 48 minutes left in our drive, and nothing really noteworthy after getting rammed as we approach the bridge as crossing between Romania and Bulgaria. I did notice too, as we were driving, Catalin, or one of our drivers, picked up about 19,000, and someone else must have picked up too, because we're at 275,000 euros right now, which is pretty cool here, because that means that we might be able to get, I mean, by the time we're going to be some driving before we finally get back to Istanbul, so I assume it's going to be more, in which case we might have about 300 and, if we had 350,000, we could buy a base in Istanbul, then buy another truck and hire another driver, which I think would be our 6th driver. The money is really starting to roll in right now, and it, you know, with the 5 drivers and the truck that we're driving, it's kind of cool because every time you do a run, you pretty much pick up at least some kind of cash, usually enough to offset my fines and stuff like that, but some kind of cash from the other drivers, so that's always kind of cool. But we got about 45 minutes left. We'll keep on chugging along here, and we'll touch base right as we're getting close to our destination. We've arrived in Perdop. Looks like we still got about 15 minutes to go before our destination, so it must be somewhere in the center of town or on the other side of town or so. But small little town in Bulgaria somewhere. The 4 towns I think we have left are tiny, so there aren't many destinations that come to and from them. So that's was kind of cool that we could come to this one with the delivery and cut through one of the other ones on the way. So we have to go down to Sofia, which is pretty big. I think it has both a truck dealership and a recruiting agency. So we want to pick those up while we're there. Then we just have one more town to grab after that, which if there isn't a delivery, I think I'll just drive the trailer over there to pick it up. Then, yeah, getting pretty close to wrapping up the Balkan states here. Whoops, don't want to get another ticket. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this area. It is time. I do definitely want to get someplace new. I think maybe Scandinavia after this would be pretty cool. So maybe take one of that. And there's an achievement out of Istanbul where you have to do 2,500 kilometer deliveries, 3 of them. And that's a long haul. So I think what the goal here is we'll pick up the cities, go through the last entryway into Turkey to pick up the last border crossing to get that achievement, go to Istanbul, buy a base, and then do a 2,500 kilometer run out of that. So that'll be a big, long episode. Maybe even cut it up into 2 because it's going to be a pretty big drive to get out of there. That's probably a good hour or so of driving. Probably longer, actually. All right, we are here at wherever here is in Perdop. Whoa. You know, my parking skills have been doing okay since we've come back to the game here. So I've been surprised that this is a pretty straightforward one. You just have to back into it, but loop around and see if we can just get right on this here. But yeah, my parking, it's I feel like after just a couple times it started to sort itself out, and it hasn't been all that challenging to get these on target. A couple of them have done kind of in the first pass, which has been kind of fun. Alrighty, let's see how we're doing. Watch, I'll totally screw this one up. That's looking pretty good so far here. Whoops. Checking my mirrors the whole way back. It is nice that the spots they give you are kind of forgiving. You know, they don't really ask you to get it right into the zone too badly. So if you're off somewhat, they don't seem to really care that much. I think this one's looking pretty good. I'd like to get it so ideally so that you could get it right in the middle of them. Like that. Actually, that's pretty good, I think. Oh, I meant to get a screenshot for the thumbnail. Oh well, to make something up. How'd we do? So we got 10,030, 15,303. We'll have to repair the truck. Last episode, last drive before this episode started, we got to level 23. So we're kind of working our way towards level 24 right now. And so far, so good. That's pretty good. Let's check our drivers here and see how they're doing. Katalin, nice. Almost, wow, almost 7,000 euros a day. She's doing pretty well here. I did upgrade her Iveco truck. I upgraded the engine and gave it a lot more horsepower because that wasn't doing well. And since I've done that, she started making a lot more money too. And her rating is a 5. Miroslav up a little bit over 5,000 euros a day. His rating is 5 as well. Bronislaw over 5,000 euros every day, and he is at 4.2. Freya here, still kind of learning the ropes, 3.3 rating, 2,500 euros. And then Romana with her man truck, 2,000 euros a day, 2.5. She's just starting out and she's asleep at the wheel here. So we are up to 290,000 euros. Nice. We might be able to get all kinds of good stuff once we get to Istanbul. Base truck driver, I think, to start out. I bet we can get 60,000 more by the time we get there. So if we take a quick look on the map, next up in our next episode, right now we picked up Perdop and Karlovo. We're going to go look for something here to Sofia and then Pernik. Then I want to cut back here in this road crossing here. You can see I've never driven down this entry point. This is that 5th entry point that I need to get the achievement for the 5 border crossings in the Balkan states. So it'll be Pernik, I think, and then down here, and then take something down into Istanbul, and we are done with the Balkan states area. Just kind of looking for those short jobs. I wonder actually if there is a quick job available now. So I'm always trying to, every time I log in, I check Strasbourg, looking Strasbourg to Munich, nothing. Dun, 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 nothing. Nothing. And then looking over here for Varna to Mangalia we want. If we see it, that'll be the next episode. Varna, Mangalia, nothing. And then I check Mangalia to Varna because that one can be any direction. Nope, nothing doing. So we'll keep checking it. Thanks so much for stopping in. Another successful day of driving. Next episode, we will wrap up the Balkan States 30 cities achievement. So I'll see you in that one. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. Please leave a comment if you like it, thumbs up, and if you're new, please consider subscribing. Not quite sure how frequently I'm going to put these out. At least once a week, but maybe a little bit more, depending on how many cool things come up as we're going along. So take care, everybody. Have a great day, and stay safe.